Welcome to the Grow Your Business and Grow Your Wealth podcast with Gary Heldt. Gary is an expert in helping business owners put together a plan that will provide a better future for their businesses, themselves, and their families. On the podcast, Gary interviews other professionals who share his vision, and together they share secrets and strategies any business owner can use to build a better financial foundation for your business and your life.
Today on the podcast, we are joined by Ozer Culhagil, and he is the owner and president of Retirement Planning Services. He's got over 20 years of experience in the financial industry. Ozer, welcome, and thank you for joining us today.
Good morning.
So what made you get into the finance career?
When I was growing up, I was really into the numbers overall, and I was always watching my dad, doing like debit, credit, and the balance. So that always amazed me to make sure that you're financing in the right place and you know what you're doing. And I tried to follow this, and I went to a school for the finance, and I did economy, and I'm just like love to deal with the numbers and helping other people to try put together finances.
So what things do you know now that you wish you knew when you kind of first got into all of this?
That's a great question. What do I know and what has changed is probably I wish, we could be more conservative maybe several years ago. And we could take the necessary steps for the people who are more close to retirement that day than today, and to make sure that they do have the control of their assets, but they don't lose a lot of money. That's the biggest thing I see. The people are being so brave, and they need to be more careful when they are investing, because obviously it's not the same when I invest money. I have 15, 20 more years to go into a retirement when a 65-year-old is getting close to a retirement, and they need to get their affairs in order to make sure that they have a comfortable living at the time.
So kind of piggybacking off of that, so the clients that you're dealing with, what are some of the questions that they really should be asking you when they come to you to invest money that they're not?
I think the most important question is this: how much money you have, and if you do have the pension or not, because there is still, some people out there have pensions, and the Social Security obviously is, one of the biggest pensions. And I think that these days is covered almost 35 to 40% of the retirees' income. So what I will suggest the first to find out is how much money you have and how much income pensions coming in, and what is the gap. What I mean by the gap is, let's say I have $1 million and my pensions are, $50,000. I have small, private company pension and the Social Security together, I have 50, but I'm spending $85,000 a year. What I need to figure out is, how can I make sure that that $35,000 that I need is coming in a steady way, that I'm not going to lose my sleep over if something happens to market? I think that's the most important thing. Try to find out if your money is going to last for the rest of your life. And the other important thing these days is what we see is the long-term care situation, to make sure that if anything like that happens, you have enough money saved in some place to cover that expenses, so you won't be a burden, to your family.
So your clients that you have, it sounds like they're coming in and they're not necessarily asking the questions that you really want them to ask, but are they expressing to you what their biggest fears are at this point?
Yes, the biggest fears that they express, most of the people, especially these days, right now, we are in the COVID-19, area, and everybody's interest is what's happening in the market. hey, I have I have $700,000 3 months ago. Now I have $500,000. So how am I gonna make the ends meet? And this is the important part. Like everybody needs to understand the risk when they are investing in, and what's the comfortable risk. So when our clients comes in, what we do ask the question is how much risk that you can take, and if something happens that you're not going to lose your sleep over. What I mean by that is if you have an X amount of money and if you lose 20%, that's not really going to bother you. Then that's a that's a risk that you can take. But also what we need to show the client is when they have a $500,000 and when they lose 20%, that's equal to $100,000. We have to tell them that's $100,000 because 20% might be a small number, but when you put that in a reality is $100,000, that seems a lot to a lot of people. And that's why we see most of the disconnect is this, like the people take a lot of risk that's not really necessary for them to take.
So this fear that the clients would have, it's not just during this COVID-19 era, it's at any time with the market volatility.
Yes, it's not really specific to this because what happened is we've been seeing a bull market or high market, however you call that market, is since 2009. It's just straight going up without making any correction. And market to be healthy, we have to have some corrections because we cannot just like a hockey stick going up like every year without making any correction. It's not healthy. But obviously nothing happened. Unfortunately, this COVID-19 happened. It just showed the correction. The market went down 30-some%, backed up a little bit, going up and down. It depends on the day. It depends on, what's happening around the world. I'm not trying to give any names whatsoever or countries, but it's just a volatile market. But sometimes the volatility is the biggest enemy of the investors because they don't know when to buy or sell. What they want to know is how much money they need at the retirement. That's the important part.
So working with a wide variety of clients and things like that you have, what's one of the most important things that you've learned so far from dealing with this variety of clients, and how has that helped you with your business and other clients?
People, when they work with a financial advisor, they want to feel comfortable. That's what most of the clients is looking for. Like the returns, the fees, yes, they are very important. Like, nobody wants to pay fees. Everyone cares about the highest returns, but everybody wants the best client experience. But really the most important part is the experience, and the relationship with the clients are the important part. Because when you do have a healthy relationship with your advisor, and if your advisor is giving you the updates when it's necessary, the returns and the fees is not that important if you can get the service and the needs you want from your advisor. Our business mainly comes from the referrals because of the service that we give to our clients and education that we give to our clients. Like when the clients comes in here, gives the money, hey, I'll see you, when I see you. That's not how it works at these days. Like everyone has the same, fees and everything. So I think the white glove experience is the most important part in our business.
So what are some of the specific strategies that you use that have really helped you provide the best results to your clients, kind of on a short term, but then also on a long-term basis?
So when the client first comes in here, what we are trying to do is first we are trying to understand the need and the want of the client. What that means is need is like what is necessary to make your daily livings. And the want means is, what do you want to make your life better or do better things at your retirement? When it comes down to that, if we can figure out to make the client happy, that's the short-term goal. They found out what they need, and if they can make the necessary changes to their portfolios and so forth, they can get the want stuff they can get anytime they want. And when it comes down to this, what we are trying to accomplish is try to be very close to the client. And, for example, we like to meet with our clients, quarterly basis, even though if there's something happens in the market or not. It's just that keep talking and keep updating the stuff, because you never know what's going to happen in the market, and the client situation can always change. And when you do have close relationship with your clients, like how we do this, then the long term, that clients are going to stay with you in a longer period of time. And obviously, they're going to give you more referrals in the long run as well.
Okay. What are some of the common mistakes that you see your clients or potential clients make in regards to wealth management or estate planning?
The biggest mistake that I see is the people do not analyze the stuff they have. What I mean by that is, let's say they sit down with an advisor, 15 years ago, and that advisor, probably, they asked them questions and so forth, and they gave them the answers, and the advisors put them in a portfolio at that time. But they never check what's that portfolio. They never check their risk tolerance. They never, look at how much they can lose and how much they can win. But in the meantime, there's 15 years passed by already. And 15 years ago, they were in the accumulation phase. Now they are in the distribution phase. And they need to allocate their portfolio for the phase. That's the biggest, mistake that I see in clients, portfolio is they did make a lot of wealth at their accumulation time, but now it's time to protect some of that wealth to get the needs for the income wise. And no one ever looks into that. Everyone is in it to accumulate money, but no one really thinking about distribution portion of the portfolios.
So how do you help these clients not make that mistake once they become clients?
So again, like when you do meet with the clients periodically, like how we do it, like we give them the option that, hey, look, we would like to see you once a quarter, but we do understand sometimes the lives, is so busy, you cannot make it. But we are available, either in person or phone or FaceTime or Zoom meetings, go-to meetings, whatever you want. But we want to make sure that if anything changes in your, life, let us know. What that means is, a big expense, going out, or there's an inheritance coming that can change your situation. Like, if you need to update your car, if you spend $25,000, that might be a big chunk from your portfolio. So how you want to make this purchase? Like, do you want to pay cash, or do you want to take a loan? If there's a 0 APR, why would you want to pay cash? That's how we try to help to our clients.
Yeah, so that I think that's a good point, that you're not here just to advise them on what stocks to buy and stuff like that, but you're also providing advice to them on kind of life strategies and their overall economics, not just their investment.
Because that days are gone. Like, like giving an advice in a just, stocks bond portfolio, or, who is the best money manager. And, you have to do the holistic approach to every client and look at their portfolios in a, bigger way. It is not just what happens in the market, but also in the meantime, like the client, sometimes the clients give us a call and say, hey, I just bought a house in Florida. Where am I going to get the down payment from? Well, did you tell me that you were going to buy a house in Florida? No, you didn't. I mean, like, but I have the money. But again, it doesn't matter. You have the money, that means that you should just go buy it without asking to a financial professional. How is that going to affect your future, investments? So that's what we are trying to do with our clients. We tell people all the time, look, tell us anything over $3,000, even if it's a purchase, you need it or you want it, just, let us know. We walk through the numbers with you, and we are available anytime you want. It's not just like in a, certain time. We're not a doctor. You can pick up the phone, you can tell us, and we can give you the guidance in, any things you want.
So tell me who would be the ideal client for you, or what does that ideal client look like?
The ideal client is, it's probably somewhere, age over 50 is, working and getting close to a retirement or not, or age over, 60 that is close to retirement or retired. The ideal client is maybe a very broad question, but whoever is getting ready to retire or retired needs to talk to a financial professional before even make any decision. What I mean by that is, you can have $3 million, saved up, but do you think that $3 million is a lot of money if you are spending $300,000 a year? That's not a lot of money. So you can have a $500,000 in your portfolio, and if you're only spending $25,000, that you might be in good position. Our job in here just to look at the people's lives and not just what's in their portfolio. That's my ideal client.
So these ideal clients, how, what would the first steps that you would want them to take to kind of be able to get to you?
Well, pick up the phone and call us and make the appointment. And the first appointment is it's a very relaxed appointment. Again, we can do it either in-house in here, we have 3 different offices, or we can do it, Zoom, go to webinar, any kind of online things they want to do. But the first appointment is we're just trying to ask questions to find out, what do they want? And again, it's not just about money. It's the wants, the needs, the goals, the dreams, and, what is the retirement looks like? Where do they want their retirement? Some people, most of our clients comes from the state of Maryland, but I can say that 40% of our clients right now lives outside of Maryland because, they want to live in a different state after they retire. So we want to make sure that we prepare all this beforehand. That's why the first meeting is we're trying to understand everything. And we're not worried about how much money you have, what's in your portfolio. That's not that important. That's a second step.
So do you guys provide any educational seminars? Are you guys, on the radio? How are you reaching out to potential clients besides, referrals?
So we were doing educational classes before the COVID-19, but right now we switched that to online webinars. We are trying to hold a webinar every week online, and we also do have a TV show on Sunday, 10 o'clock on ABC. Me and my partner doing the show, try to educate people a little bit, but again, it's half an hour, so there is not so much stuff that you can give it to people in half an hour. But we do have a lot of educational seminars and webinars and the shows, and if someone wants to know more about it, I'll be more than happy to send anyone, any of the recordings that we have, because we don't mind. They would like to feel comfortable before they are talking to us. So I can send anyone any material they want beforehand coming here.
So if they want to, if our listeners want to go on and see one of these online educational seminars, is that something that they need to reach out to you first, or is there a website they can go directly to get to it?
Yes, they need to reach out to us first, like, like they call our office and say, hey, we listen to podcast and we would like to get more information. Can you send us the materials and anything? Like we have like the links that we can send it to the, potential prospects to go watch the any of the videos that we have or any of the webinars that we hold.
So what's the phone number that they would reach out to you guys, or the website that they would go to?
So our phone number is 443-308-5200, 443-308-5200, and our website is rpsretirementplanning.com, rpsretirementplanning.com.
So what are some of the biggest challenges that you're facing right now?
Honestly, the biggest challenges obviously we are facing is most of the people who is close to retirement or in retirement are not really computer friendly, and for that reason, the people don't either want to or can use the computers to do these virtual meetings that you and I are doing right now, and our business is. It's a face-to-face business. If I'm gonna give someone an information about my life and everything, I would like to look into that person's face, and to do that via either in room or Zoom, something. We are open for business if anybody wants to come in, but obviously because of the virus, most of the people don't want to come into the office, and some of the people do not have the access to this, virtual stuff that we are doing right now. Those are our big challenges at this moment.
So, you say besides the COVID-19, what are some other challenges that you're facing, with clients and things like that?
I mean, obviously, there is some issues related to the COVID-19. The challenging phases are like, let's see, we got some referrals coming in. I'm talking about a couple of weeks ago because the market changes suddenly. But a couple of weeks ago, I'm meeting with a person on a Zoom call, and they were ready to retire 3 months ago, and they had, X amount of money, but now they lost 30%. And obviously that's changing the whole dynamic regarding to the, their retirement, because they thought that amount was enough at that time, but now they lost that 30% because of the market. They have less, and is that going to be enough? That's the challenging thing at this moment, is markets being uncertain.
Okay. What's the best advice that that you've ever been given from a business standpoint?
The best advice that I think I ever got was, when you do make an investment, just know what you are doing and get ins and out, pros and cons, and try to learn as much as possible regarding what you are being invested on. That is the biggest thing that I see on the people, that they have stuff, but they don't know what it is. And that is also a challenge sometimes, to explain it to people what they have. And, when we explain it, oh, this is not what I think it was. Well, that's why you have to understand whatever you are doing, in any way you are doing, when it comes down to finances, that you need to know the basics about the stuff that you have.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of what we try to do with people with taxes is, we really try to be the quarterback for them, and give them information, but not give them too much information.
Yes, I agree with that. I agree with that also. Like, I don't mind giving information as much as people want, but also the giving it too much of an information sometimes can confuse the people. We just have to be careful about, what we are explaining to the clients.
Right. And it sounds like a lot of your business, again, like ours, is really built on, the relationships that you bind with people, and be able to grow with them over time.
Yes, that's correct.
What things have we not talked about that you would like to share that I haven't asked?
Well, I believe the one thing that I think you did not that you did not ask, but what I can mention is the retirement is a whole. When I say it's a whole, it's not just a financial advisor. It also requires to have a, tax professional and a lawyer regarding to your, whole picture, because sometimes the biggest mistake comes in when the people not talk to each other. So if I don't know your whole picture regarding about your taxes, the advice that I'm giving it to you, it might not be the right advice for you, because like if you're in the high tax bracket and if you want to do a, Roth IRA conversion, maybe this is not the right year for you. So that's why the relationships are important, that you gotta have to have a good accountant, good advisor, and a good lawyer, and that people needs to talk to each other because they are the one who is making decisions on behalf of you for your future.
Great, thank you. So again, if the audience wants to learn more about you and more about your company, where do they need to go?
All they need to do is, like, obviously pick up the phone and they call 443-308-5200, or they can go to our website, rpsretirementplanning.com.
All right. Today we've had Ozer Culhagil on with us from Retirement Planning Services. Ozer, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Good day.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.